Okay, there's 9 of us walking through Anzac Tunnel at the moment. It's dark. Apart from the light from a few torches, it's slippery. And it's kind of scary too.
I like going underground. It's just something I've always liked to do.
Some people completely understand it and sort of say, oh yeah, that'd be great fun, but yeah, some people might look at you a bit strange sometimes, yeah.
We used to explore the local tunnel that went under our school. We'd go up there every lunchtime and get scared and run out and slip over and cut our knees like most kids do, I suppose.
Earlier this year, Melbourne's Cave Clan hosted their annual Clanny Awards in Anzac Tunnel. Choice prize categories included Best First Year Explorer, Best Drain, Best Dodgy Crash Out Award and Best Cavity. If you think cavities are only to be found in your mouth, you'd better listen up, for you've got a lot to learn about urban exploration. On a recent Sunday, clan members Dougo, Green, Bob, Mirror, Prowler, Id and Hugh Dunnett showed me the ropes and treated me like one of their own. I saw Melbourne's underbelly with my own eyes, a side to this city I never knew existed. There is adventure out there for the taking, folks. It's just that Cave Clan bothered to go looking for it. Clan Elder, Dougo.
Cave Clan, they're a group of people that explore tunnels and abandoned buildings and towers and cavities underground. People that come from all walks of life that have one common link, and that's a sense of adventure. And we'll explore basically anything man-made, and as the group gets bigger we sort of find out more information from local knowledge as people join up. Most people that join up know something that we don't. As more people join, we find more to explore, and we move on to different things like roof-topping started to become a new thing, sort of just going around city buildings and going along rooftops and that. Some people will be into the drains, some will be into the artificial tunnels like the city loop, communication tunnels or steam tunnels under the city. Other people will be into the topside stuff, as we call it, which are abandoned buildings and all that sort of thing. We set it up in the summer of 85, 86, that's when we came up with a name and all that sort of thing. We were sort of into exploring tunnels and just went on from there. We eventually went out to Diamond Creek and explored some mines. We thought, let's sort of do this on a bigger scale, and originally we were going to do caves and mines and stuff like that, hence we're called the Cave Clan and not the Drain Dwellers or something. And then we realised actually we were too young, we were only 16, 17. We didn't have cars, couldn't afford the caving equipment because it's quite expensive, and we'd explored some local drains before, so we went on to that and we started exploring drains in different areas. And we started meeting up with local groups. We explored the local few tunnels, say in Kew, Hawthorne area and then in Camberwell. We started realising there was other groups like us, but we were the first group to start travelling to other parts of the city. So they basically started joining up with us, and then we started going interstate. And for the last few years we've had explorers going overseas, and they're sort of starting up little branches around in America and Canada and Europe. Yeah, that was why they started up, just to bring everyone together, because there was no real outlet for urban exploration.
The clan is proud of its ability to bring people from all walks of life together. The group is made up of old and new members and frequently holds expeditions to welcome new people. All of the current clannies have their own stories and their own unique reasons for taking part. When did you join Cave Clan, Green?
About 97, about 4 years ago. I've sort of been doing drains for a while. And then I was with a couple of mates and we were sort of out taking photos in Hawthorne one day, and we stumbled upon the canal to a drain that's called the Maze, which is sort of considered as being one of the best in Melbourne. So we just sort of wandered down the canal and sort of found the entrance to the drain and sort of walked in. Basically, I think we were on school holidays at the time, so we just sort of kept going back every day and just hanging out and strolling through it and that. So we sort of, we wrote to the Cave Clan to try and get some more information about more drains. So they sort of sent us information and said, come on this expo or whatever. And so we started going on the expos, and that was about it, I suppose. Also, I suppose, there's many appeals, but one of the appeals is maybe the fact that just the chilling out sort of factor to it. There's also the whole exploring thing, drains or tunnels that you haven't done before. I like sort of travelling interstate a fair bit and sort of doing tunnels in Sydney or Brisbane or Adelaide or whatever. So that's sort of one of the big things for me, sort of going interstate and sort of travelling around and doing different tunnels. tunnels. Also, I sort of get into a lot of the historical tunnels. You know, some of the ones around are sort of pretty old, are like 100 years or more, or sort of turn of the century. I sort of get into more of that sort of stuff. A lot of them are made out of bluestone or sandstone or sort of old red brick and things. They're mainly the tunnels I get into the most.
On the day of my underground adventure, I must admit I was a little nervous and somewhat claustrophobic too. The opening to the tunnel was wet and slippery and I was sure I'd fall over and hold everybody up. But I was in safe hands. Cave Clan have a lot of respect for what they do and observe strict safety regulations at all times. Once I got used to being under the trams instead of on them, I was fine. Here's a bit more of the expedition.
Now we're at the gallery. There's some quite amazing artwork on the walls. And turning around and looking back from where we've come from, it's just black. We're actually getting close to the place where Cave Clan held their annual Clanny Awards this year.
When we have the awards down here, we sort of put floorboards or bits of wood across the canal, and we carpet the whole thing, and we have a row of seats up here and it's all carpeted, and we just have hundreds of candles, and there's usually people like juggling fire and people swinging on the Tarzan rope and music, and it's just a really good atmosphere. It's just a good feeling. Even if people that don't come to Cave Clan stuff, they'll come to the Clannies, the awards, just because of the atmosphere and that, and it's a really friendly atmosphere, and everyone's just, and because a lot of people only see each other at the Clannies, it's just heaps of people catching up, and it's great. And I mean, if you could imagine this with like a couple of hundred people and just all lit up natural light or candle light, it's just a really good thing. And as I said, we normally have like small fireworks going on. Someone was playing a didgeridoo one year, which sounds crazy down here. It's almost like a carnival sort of thing. Like, it's a great atmosphere. One of my favourite things is the Clannies. And a lot of people sort of get to the stage where they're like a bit sick of it, but the Clannies, like, often the awards night fires people up and, you know, gets people passionate about it again. Well, they start talking to people that they haven't spoken to for a while, and they say, oh, yeah, let's go do something. And it might be just you're sick of exploring with the same people, but it's a good time to meet up with people you've only read about in the newsletter, and then you can, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Prowler was saying before that he met up with a couple of people that had seen his tag everywhere, and he felt kind of famous.
Yeah, infamous. We're not really a graffiti crew or anything. When we put our names up, it's basically to say we've been here, and like I'll probably put all our names down now, and it'll just have the date, and basically it's just to show that someone's visited here. We don't walk along putting our name over and over and over again like people do along a train line or whatever. And when we venture up a tunnel, it'll be just to mark the visit. And it's quite interesting when you do go up somewhere and you think no one's been there, and you see a date, and even if the date might be from the mid-80s, or in some cases the 60s, there's a group called the Drainiacs, and one of the explorers is named Alf Sadlier. That was from the 50s and 60s, and sometimes you'll just go up this tunnel where you think, no, there's no way anyone could have been up here, and you'll see this black tar paint, and it'll say, you know, Alf Sadlier, 1956. We make sure everyone that becomes part of the group knows that we're not a graffiti group, and if you have a look at the, I don't know what there is now, 20 or 30 paintings in this gallery, they're not actually aerosol art as such. Like, we sort of try and encourage people to do a variety of art down here, rather than, because there's so many places in Melbourne where there is a large amount of aerosol graffiti, and there's so many aerosol artists, that this would just fill up in no time. So we try and encourage a variety, and you can actually, there is quite a bit of variety. Some of them are just total crap, which is probably one or two that I've done, but of course they get vandalised by other people that come up here. So you'll see some have been gone over. There's probably been twice as many paintings done here, but you just get kids that come up here with a can of spray paint and they'll just destroy it all. And so we sort of try and keep the place a bit hush-hush too as well. It's a good place. Once it's all set up, or once you've got something happening here, where you've got a lot of people and it's all lit up at night with the candles and that, it's got a good atmosphere. Most people will say this is their favourite place.
You guys have been the subject of some nasty rumours as far as threatening to cut off people's fingers if they don't advertise, and that you're carrying out bizarre rituals in the drains. What have you got to say about that, Prowler?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely a devil worshipper. Yeah, sure. You know, people make up rumours because, you know, these guys are going in the big dark drains. And, you know, you hear these things from overseas, you know, a dark place, and people, you know, you think they get up to weird things down there. But basically, like other people said before, it's just exploration. The thing that keeps me going, keeps me interested all the time, is because I've got a young family at home. and that takes up a lot of my time plus full-time work. So when I do get out to do things underground, I just, really get into it, and it keeps me interested all the time.
And so the time came to bid farewell to Cave Clan, but I left them somewhat changed. It was inspiring to meet a group of guys willing to shed their 9-to-5 selves and take on a clan name to explore secret locations. They know their mates are looking out for their safety, for the group is tight and reassuringly well organised. Cave Clan taught me a thing or two about play, adventure and exploration, a desire for which many of us seem to lose as we grow up. It was an experience that was fun, safe and different. And I'll always have the memory of the day I changed from being urban dweller into urban explorer.
You sort of, you could be right under Hawthorn or under the city or South Yarra or whatever, and away from all the shit and the people sort of upstairs, and be down your own little world and just sort of hang out with your mates or whatever, have a beer.
They do their 9-to-5 thing, go to work, go home, sit in front of the telly. We go underground. It's just something different. It's like people, going on motorbikes for the weekend. We go underground.
There goes a tram. It's funny to think that Melbourne's above us, that there's a world going on above us, and we're underneath the city in the dark, and no one knows we're here.